Hey everybody, Eric Smith here with another installment in my series on F. Paul Wilson's Secret History of the World. And today I am talking about Gateways. It's a Repairman Jack novel. Obviously it's by F. Paul Wilson. And this is from Tor. There you go. Good sized book. And so as always, I'll start by kind of reviewing the book. And then I'll get into how it fits in with the secret history. So, in Gateways, we start off with Repairman Jack in the middle of a job, the middle of a fix. And so we get a little action, little stuff going on. And then he gets home and goes to bed in the middle of the night. He gets a call from his brother saying that their father was in an accident and he's in a coma down in Florida, where he's in an assisted living facility. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but and for whatever reason, Jack's brother can't. He's a judge. He says he's all tied up and he can't go down there, so he needs Jack to go down to Florida and check in on their father. So Jack ties things up in New York and goes down to Florida and checks in on his dad. Turns out there was a hit and run. His dad was all banged up again. He's in a coma. Jack meets his father's neighbor at this place, and Gateways is the name of the gated community that Jack's father is living in. But Jack meets his dad's neighbor, who is this woman whose name I don't recall. She seems a little odd. She's got a little chihuahua with her all the time. And Jack spends time getting to know her, and we're introduced to this woman named Semele. That's how I'm saying it, who lives out in the Everglades with these sort of deformed people. And there's something going on with her, and she has this feeling, premonition, something that she and Jack are meant to be together. And of course, all sorts of weird stuff happens, and Jack's involved. He's in the middle of all this. So, yeah, it's a good story. I like that it takes Jack out of his comfort zone. You know, he's a New York City kind of guy, and even though he's in previous stories, he's left New York City proper, gone to a few other locations. They're still well within his comfort zone for the most part. So this is the first time we kind of see him outside of that. He's down there in Florida. He's right by the Everglades. This Gateways place that his father has gone to is you buy a house, and essentially, once you're in there till you die. You've got your house, and then once you get to the point where you need that assistance, they move you into now you're in an assisted living facility, into a big building where people can help you with things. And then once you've degressed further to where you need constant care, you move into another facility, but it's all within Gateways. And then you die, and then they sell your house to somebody else. And while Jack's there, he learns that there have been some very odd deaths relatively recently, within the past year, within Gateways. He's trying to figure out what happened to his father. The accident is really weird. It happened in the middle of nowhere. It seems like his father, for the accident to have happened the way it did, it seems like his father would have had to run a stop sign. Jack's like, there's no way, even if it's in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, my dad is going to stop at a stop sign. So he's looking into this, trying to figure out what happened with the accident. And then, slight spoiler, his dad wakes up out of the coma. And so we get a lot of Jack and his father connecting. Previously, in the other books, we've seen Jack avoiding his father. I think in one book they get together for a tennis tournament, but that's the only time in this series so far that they've actually been in the same scene. They've talked on the phone. Jack's avoided answering the phone or returning phone calls, but now they're kind of stuck together and they're reconnecting. And yeah, I love the personal stuff. Jack, favorite character of mine, and I love the way he connects with people. So Gia, his girlfriend, her daughter Vicky are in it, sort of. Gia's in scenes. Vicky talks to him on the phone. Abe, his buddy who runs a sporting goods store but actually sells weapons, he's in a few scenes. But this is mainly about Jack and his father and family. And I'm kind of guessing that something's going to come up with his brother, the judge, because the way he says that he's too busy to help or to go down to Florida seems kind of shady. And even both Jack and his father are like, that doesn't seem like him. Something seems off. So I'm guessing something's going to come from that. Really like the neighbor lady whose name, see if I can find this quickly. Yeah, Anya. I don't know why I wanted to say it was Anya, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, the neighbor lady's name is Anya with her little dog, Oiv, as in Oiving. I like Jack's like, how do you spell that? She's like, IRVING. How else would you spell Oiving? She's really fun. Semele and her clan, not the clan, her clan, are very interesting. And there are supernatural elements to what's going on. Absolutely supernatural elements to what's going on. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. It's good Repairman Jack. Obviously not one of my favorites. But that's like saying, silver's not as good as gold. I'm not talking like Olympics type thing. I'm talking like if you're going to have money, yeah, gold's great. Not going to say no to silver. And I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's good. It's, like I said, 4 out of 5 stars. I'd give it 4.5 on Goodreads if I could. Loving the Repairman Jack books, and this is up there. Not my favorite, but still good stuff. All right, so I think I covered all of that stuff that I wanted to cover before getting into the greater secret history kind of stuff. So right off the bat, this takes place in year 0-2. Quick recap for those who don't know. The Secret History of the World, there's in the back of this book, Signals, there's a list of everything that F. Paul Wilson has written that falls within the Secret History of the World stuff in chronological order, and it all ends year 0. The last book is Night World. Takes place in year 0. Everything else goes backwards. The chronology kind of goes backwards from there. So year 0-2 is 2 years before. And the last book that I read that's on this list was The Haunted Air, another Repairman Jack book. Took place in August. This takes place in September. So 2 years before the end of the world as we know it, in September. And the first Repairman Jack book was the summer of year 0-3. So far, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 7th Repairman Jack book, and we've covered just over a year of time. Now, the Otherness, which is what... How much of this do I need to explain? I assume most people watching this have heard me explain this before. Has been a little while since I've done one of these. There are 2 opposing forces in the universe. One that we would consider evil, that's the Otherness, and then one that we would consider neutral. Good isn't necessarily the way to go. Evil wants to destroy everything. The Otherness wants to destroy everything. The other side doesn't care, or doesn't want everything destroyed, but isn't like, go Team Humans. So the Otherness is in this book the evil agent of the Otherness that we were, well, as far as this series is concerned, we were introduced to in The Keep, and then came back in Reborn. Sal Roma is the most popular name so far, the one I'm sticking with. Although we do learn, well, this is the first time we learn his true name, but either way, he's in this. And the stuff that involves Semele and her clan has to do with the Otherness. So this is tying into the whole secret history of the world. I mean, it could just be it ties in because it's a Repairman Jack story and he's part of the secret history. But this is, there's more of a connection in this book. And there is a bit, I suppose I could have said this in the review part, there is a bit of a Deus Ex Machina at the end. It's kind of set up. Well, I mean, yeah, it's set up, but it still feels like it was set up so that it could happen because there was no other way Jack was getting out of the trouble he was in. And it's kind of not the greatest ending. It's not horrible. Again, it is set up. It doesn't come up completely out of nowhere. But it does feel a little bit like a cheat. And this involves the Otherness and stuff. I love that there's a mix of science and supernatural in the Repairman Jack books. Which is cool. So, yeah. Is there anything else to say about the whole secret history of the world part? I don't know. I mean, it's got the Otherness. It's got Sal Roma. I think after what Jack and his father go through, that I don't know if his father's going to become a bigger part of the series. He doesn't. Spoilers? Are we getting into spoiler territory? He doesn't learn exactly what Jack does, but he now is completely aware that Jack isn't the appliance repairman that he's always thought he was. They both learn a great deal about the other. Jack learns a bunch of stuff about his dad he didn't know. Dad learns a bunch of stuff about Jack that he didn't know. I know the other thing I wanted to say. I mentioned Anya, the neighbor, and her little chihuahua. This is the third time now that we've had kind of a mysterious woman with a dog. We had, I don't remember which woman had which dog, so I'm not going to, in one of the other books, Jack very briefly meets a woman and a dog who has mysterious things to say. And then a book or two, I think it's just one book later, he meets a different woman with a different dog, but basically has the same sort of mysterious thing going on. And now, this time, Anya has a lot of screen time, for lack of a better way to put it, and she opens up a bit more to Jack about what's going on, what his part in everything is, what these, the whole, I don't know, she doesn't say much about being a woman with a dog, but it is another connection. So we'll see if more women and dogs pairings, women and dog pairings show up in more books. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more Repairman Jack books. One of them isn't up. I'm looking over on my shelf where my Repairman Jack books are, but those are all normal size paperbacks. I have one that's a trade paperback size and won't fit on that shelf. So I believe 10 more Repairman Jack books and a bunch of other stuff. A few more Adversary Cycle books. And I think I've gotten a bunch of other F. Paul Wilsons that fit into the Secret History of the World, and I think I'm going to slot them in where they go now. I originally, when I started this whole thing, I think on the introductory video, posted a list of all the books that I had in the Secret History of the World that I was going to read. But now I've accumulated quite a few more. I'm not going to retroactively do any. So anything that I'd already bypassed, maybe I'll do a coda video or something. But the stuff that I haven't, within the chronology, haven't gotten to yet, I'm going to slot them in. So that list from that very first video is a little outdated. If anybody cares, I can put up a new list, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. That's Gateways, F. Paul Wilson's Secret History of the World. Feel free to read along. The next book, if you care to read along, I have to look at the list here. After Gateways is Crisscross, which is another Repairman Jack. So we'll see when I get to that. Hopefully I won't have such a big break in between books for this series. All right, that's it. I think that's all I've got to say. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comics, board games, and occasionally fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. All right, that's it. I'm Eric Smith. Until next time, read more books.